Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the movies that almost ended on a dark note. Warning, major spoilers to come, naturally. Number 10, Katie is shot by the police. Paranormal Activity.
Hello? Is anyone home? Police!
This supernatural horror film sure delivers the frights. In the theatrically released ending, Katie is strongly implied to have been possessed by a demonic presence, killing her friend Mika. This is dark all in itself, but one alternate ending goes even further. In it, the police come and shoot her, though not before she is snapped out of her demonic presence. This even more horrific ending was shown at the Screamfest Film Festival in 2007, but was never officially released. Thank goodness for that. Let's not go into the other alternate ending for our health and sanity.
Police department, hello? Ma'am? I've got one up here. Ma'am! What?
Mika?
Ma'am?
Me.
She's got a weapon.
Where's Mika?
Ma'am,
Where's
put down the
Mika?
knife there. Put down the knife.
Number 9, John Rambo ends himself. First Blood.
And I come back to the world, and I see all those maggots at the airport protesting me, spitting, calling me baby killer and all kinds of vile crap.
The first film in the Rambo franchise, this Sylvester Stallone-led action flick, could have ended much more differently. In it, Vietnam veteran Rambo resists arrest and the persecution of a local sheriff, Will Teasel. Just as Rambo begins to kill Teasel, however, he is stopped by his mentor and former officer, Colonel Sam Trotman, and persuaded to turn himself in. In the original ending, though, Rambo dies comfortless and by his own means. Although this conclusion was faithful to the original novel, it was changed for obvious reasons. Either way, the theme of former soldiers abandoned by their government and society is well executed. Number 8, Ripley dies. Alien. It's hard to believe that such a seminal sci-fi film could have ever thought of killing off its protagonist. In the theatrical cut of this Ridley Scott film, resourceful heroine Ripley wins over the alien and rescues herself and a fellow crewmate just in time. Ridley initially conceived of a much more final fate for Ripley, however, with the alien killing her and possessing her crewmate. 20th Century Fox executives vehemently opposed this ending, and so Scott left Ripley alive. It was a wise decision because just like Rambo, Alien would have never been a franchise without its heroine.
I should reach the frontier in about 6 weeks. With a little luck, the network will pick me up.
Number 7, Alex ends herself. Fatal Attraction.
I'll just cut deeper next time. I'll kill myself. I will. I'll kill myself.
Horror films often have the most chilling alternate endings. In this film, Glenn Close's Alex Forrest is the increasingly unhinged mistress of married man Dan, with her obsession quickly becoming criminal. At last, Dan's wife Beth shoots Alex dead in the bathtub, but the original conception for the finale was even more cruel. In this version, Alex does herself in with Dan's knife, thus framing him for her murder. When Dan is taken away, Beth finds a cassette Alex sent Dan and gives it to the police, who clear Dan of murder. This ending was heavily disliked by test audiences, forcing the filmmakers to do reshoots, much to Close and other actors' dismay. Perhaps it was for the best after all. Number 6, Edward Lewis leaves Vivian Ward, Pretty Woman.
Hey, Sugar, you looking for a date?
No, I want to find Beverly Hills. Can you give me directions?
Sure. For $5.
Ridiculous.
A rom-com with a downer ending? It's more likely than you think. This Gary Marshall-directed film was initially conceived as an unflinching exploration into the world of sex work and the plight of sex workers in general. In this version, corporate raider Edward Lewis cruelly throws sex worker Vivian Ward out on the streets with $3,000. This La Traviata-esque ending was ditched when the film was reworked as a romantic comedy with a typically Disney ending. The change was largely thanks to Richard Gere's and Julia Roberts' sizzling on-screen chemistry. With these two actors, sticking to the original ending would have been a big mistake. Huge.
So what happened after he climbed up the tower and rescued her?
She rescues him right back.
Number 5. John McClane goes full vigilante. Die Hard with a vengeance.
Gotta watch that drinking during the day. Bad for your health.
Would you care to join me?
No, I quit.
This third installment of the Die Hard series could have ended so much differently. In this sequel, McClane must stop a bomber who reveals his intentions in the form of a Simon Says game. The film sees McClane succeeding in stopping and killing the bomber.
Say hello to your brother. Get out of here!
But an alternate ending shows McClane fired by the NYPD. Now gone rogue, he tracks Simon down and gives him a taste of his own medicine with a Russian roulette-like game. McClane Says.
Remember your game, Simon Says? Well, now we're gonna play McClane Says.
Simon loses this game and is killed via a Chinese rocket launcher. McClane Breaking Bad would have made for interesting commentary on trauma, as was the original intent, but it is certainly a much harder ending to accept. Number 4. Audrey 2 wins Little Shop of Horrors. True to its title, this Shop of Horrors originally had an appropriately bummer ending. The carnivorous plant eats Seymour's love interest Audrey and eats Seymour alive as well. Called Audrey 2, the plant is revealed to be an alien species that thrives off human blood and goes on to rule the world. While this conclusion is faithful to the original movie and stage show, test audiences deeply disliked it, and thus it was changed to a typically happy ending. For those who prefer the original ending, the stage show does retain it as a darkly comic farce, but for a theatrical release, it was perhaps for the best. Number 3. Ash Williams sleeps for too long. Army of Darkness.
5, 6.
This fantasy adventure could have landed time traveler Ash Williams in a different kind of pickle altogether. The theatrical cut had Ash returning to his own time after traveling to the Middle Ages, killing one more of the undead for good measure. But an alternate conclusion would have had Ash miscalculating the amount of potion to drink to return to his own time. He accidentally wakes up in post-apocalyptic London instead.
Oh, God! No! No! I slept too long!
Ultimately, Universal Pictures felt the ending was too depressing, and so the more hopeful conclusion was filmed instead. We hate to say it, but sometimes the studios do know best.
Hail to the king, baby.
Number 2, Dante Hicks was murdered. Clerks.
Hey, the floor looks pretty clean. I whipped the cat next door.
You gonna ride home?
No, I got one. Just pulled up.
Retail clerk Dante Hicks' terrible, no-good day could have gone a lot worse. In this comedy, Dante must cover another employee's morning shift at his store, and many shenanigans result. At the end, Dante's best friend Randall throws his makeshift sign at him. However, a much more shocking ending had a robber come in and shoot Dante dead. Director Kevin Smith confessed he didn't know how to end the movie otherwise. Since Dante working on his day off was a recurring gag, Smith believed it would have been the ultimate punchline. Fortunately for us, Smith was convinced otherwise, thus avoiding an ending that would have put a damper on this quirky comedy.
You're closed.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1, Chris Washington is arrested. Get Out.
All right, look. Let's just take it from the top, walk me through it again.
But by far the most hard-hitting ending was the one proposed for this modern classic. Jordan Peele's Get Out follows the horror of a young black man meeting his white girlfriend's genteelly racist parents. It turns out these parents have been using the bodies of black people as hosts for the consciousness of other people. After learning his own girlfriend Rose is part of the conspiracy, Chris manages to escape to tell the tale. Peele's original ending would have been bleaker. In this ending, Chris strangles Rose, but gets arrested by the police. Greater public awareness towards the realities of racial inequality, however, had Peele opt for the more hopeful ending instead. For this relief, much thanks.
I mean, I told you not to go in that house.
Which other films do you know that could have had a truly bleak ending? Let us know in the comments down below.
Sorry.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.